Hi everyone. So I'm going to discuss the Unit 5 prompts for the video response parental involvement in athletics. So the key points for the first answer, describe the key points that you learned in the video. One of the parents brought up an important issue, and I forgot the name of the person doing the interview, but uh, he clarified and reiterated what she had told him. Basically saying that this isn't a perfect world and games aren't perfect, and she described perfectly to him what uh, what the mission was, for the incident that happened afterwards, and to move on. And life is challenging, and life's not always going to be perfect. And when she told the interviewee, he just clarified, and he said, "Hey, are you sure? You just told me this, but then now you're filing lawsuits." So it kind of contradicts. She was kind of contradicting herself. So I think that was a huge point. Is just that life isn't perfect. It never will be, and there's always going to be situations, and there's always going to be incidents. Um, I have some side notes here. Another is lawsuits are real. I mean, we have to be realistic, and lawsuits are coming about now more frequently. People are seeking financial financial compensations for future, claiming that their child, their son or daughter is going to be an NFL pro, or any other Major League Baseball pro, but they're anticipating the future, but they don't know if that certain individuals are still going to be liking the sport at that point in time, or if an injury is going to occur, if their grades are even eligible. I mean, they're making claims off of future aspects that can't really be looked at this point in time. Um, what else? It is a reality that parents are using scouting report services, but again, I think those are businesses, and businesses are obviously out to make money. I mean, hypothetical, if someone has a business of a scouting reporting service, I could tell the parent that, hey, your son or daughter is going to be a pro one day, but at the end of the day, how valid is my analysis of your daughter, your son or daughter? And then that kind of goes against the coach, because the parent feels that if they're paying for a scout and report service, that their son or daughter is obligated to play because this such and such company is claiming that their son or daughter is going to be the next pro. So, it's tough. I mean, they are businesses. I mean, they are doing. I'm sure they're doing their best as well to kind of see basic skill levels in certain individuals and determine whether or not their son or daughter is going to be good, in the sport. Um, Also, yeah, and then I also saw, the parent claiming that the coach told her or him to mind his own business. I mean, those are tough claims because no one's there, in those certain situations. So those are hard claims against coaches that do happen. Um, so to answer number two, describe what changes you may consider in your approach to coaching as a result of the video. Uh, you know, I think just more notes, taking more notes of certain situations of when they occur. I think that's always important. I always carry a little notebook and a pen, obviously in my backpack. For anything that may come up in a situation later, if a parent's going to approach me regarding an issue. Um, I also I also communicate with my athletic director regarding any type of issue, even if it's a small issue. I give them a heads up and saying, hey, this happened today with this individual. I don't think it's a major big deal, but just in case, the parent may come, disputing something. It's not. I didn't see it as an escalating issue, but just a heads up so that and you know what to expect, or you know what to anticipate if this parent comes in. But usually, I haven't had any major problems. But again, I think this video just displays that having taking notes of certain situations. If the student athlete is approaching you regarding an issue, always have something written down. That way, you have something referenced and dated, and when this happened. Um, be aware. I think being aware of your surroundings as far as scouting reports. I think having preseason meetings, discussing the benefits and flaws of scouting reports to parents. That way, they know ahead of time that hey, they aren't perfect. This isn't a perfect world. We do our best as coaches to allow each individual to play, depending on the factors of them attending practice or not, being respectful, helping out. So obviously preseason meetings, which I've rarely done, but I know that they're important. And as I read more in these chapters, um, I have done contracts, but I think having a parent meeting, hopefully that at least one parent can attend, is huge. And not only in a sense of preventative, but just ongoing. Any other type of issues that come about. That way, the coach and the parent are on the same page. So that losses can be prevented. And during this time, you can give parents your contact information for whatever reason if they need to contact you. Finally, what suggestions do you have for coaches currently in the field? Just be respectful. There's always going to be somebody watching. Keep your cool. I've had this situation. I think 3 years ago, I didn't race one of his daughters that was on the team. She was frequently late, just never really kind of nonchalant, showing up to practice. Wasn't really helping out. And these were issues that were discussed, on a coach athlete basis, but the message never got conveyed to the father. So then the father comes in, we're in the weight room, father comes in upset, totally disregarding that there are other athletes around, confronts me in front of all the other athletes, and then just tells me, such and such reason that it's his fault that, his daughter, is always late, and but really, he was kind of just trying to cover up for the daughter. But then he goes on to ramble, and he told me, you need to get a real job, and he kept on going on and on. So, I just remained calm, and I spoke to him, and I said, hey, this is what's been going on. I'm not sure where such and such gave you this information, but this is what's been going on, and I'd be happy to discuss more with this issue. But I asked him politely if he can give me the time to just finish up our weight room session that we had, and I gave him my contact information. And never did I hear from that parent ever again. He never called me back, and never had any other issues. His daughter was showing up to practice on time, helpful. It was just a whole night and day change. So I think just having written notes, that's what I would suggest for coaches currently in the field. And, regardless of what sport it is, I think just always having notes with you. Preseason meetings is a must. And not only preseason meetings, I think postseason as well. Letting parents know, at the banquet, or even just having a separate meeting, letting parents know, thanking them that, that what they do obviously, entails the success of their child. I mean, what they put together for them obviously is, giving them that sense of entitlement that hey, this wouldn't be possible without you. So just including them in the equation. That way they're not feeling left out. And I think that's, let me see, what else? I think, and then in turn, just never try to really argue with the parent. I think just hearing them out first, first explaining what it is that the situation is, and just hearing them out and seeing what the issues are, and, being able to respond. As Harvey and Droley mentioned, this really stood out to me. Knowing the type of conflict you face will allow you to begin to develop a strategy to resolve conflict. So that's why I put in my response, to the other question, setting up a separate day to have a meeting is always usually better, because it gives you time to really sit down and think about the issue itself, instead of responding and reacting right away. That way you can compile everything together, and you can anticipate what questions are going to be asked, what questions regarding his or her athlete, his or her daughter, can come up, and just being able to have proof and evidence for those types of situations. So those answer the questions.